Okay, ready? We'll call the meeting to order for Shawano County. If anyone's here, everybody please press their attend buttons. I believe we have one absent today. Yeah. Mark Bolin didn't think he was going to be able to make it back for the meeting. He had to leave out of town, and Jerry is gone, as you can see. Yep. And Jerry, there we go. Is that better? Okay, now I can holler back when you guys don't talk in your mic. Jerry is gone. He went to, I believe, some type of tractor sale or something down in Iowa. So you're stuck with me for the duration, and I'll try and keep things moving because there is, I'm sure some people have church services they would want to go to today. Cell phones off. Everybody? Jerry, yep. Okay, we're all good to go. Well, then we'll start with usual silent meditation and pledge of allegiance, and please take in remembrance our protective services. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the first item we have is approval of the minutes from our January 22nd, 2020 meeting. Motion by Marvin Klosterman, seconded by Mike McClellan. Is there any questions or discussions? Seeing none, we can do this by voice vote then. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Public comment. Is there anyone in the back that's wished to speak right now? Okay, we have one individual. Come on up to the mic, please. And state your name and address for the record.
Carolyn Jolitz, retired colonel, United States Army, 30 years. Address N5570, Weasel Dam Road, Bowler. The reason why I'm here today is I hear that next meeting in March, you're going to be having a meeting on the Second Amendment. And I hear that there are 2 times available at 3 and 6 o'clock. I would like to recommend 6 o'clock, and that would give an opportunity for those that are working to attend the meeting. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay. As you'll see in our agenda, when we get near the end, item number 21, where we set the next meeting date, Jerry has a note here for me that he had 6 people called requesting that the meeting be changed to 6 o'clock from our normal 3 o'clock. And we will take a vote on that, and whatever the majority of the board is, then that's what we'll do next month. So anyone else wishing to speak? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Motion to deviate from the order of agenda. Motion by Kevin Conrad, seconded by Bob Kraus. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Same sign, motion carried. Chairman's report. About the only thing he's got down here, a note would be for the legislative exchange, which I was not at. Arlen had attended. Is there anything you thought interesting, Arlen, you'd like to share with the rest of the board?
Well, I do know that.
I gotta wake up, Arlen. Okay. Could be on.
I do know that one of the main items they had down there was that the state has a surplus this year. Well, we listened to some people talking how much money, where it's going to go or what's going to happen to it. And at the time we were down there, they were talking, a group of legislators wanted it to be put back into the transportation fund that where they robbed it out of for the last couple of years before, when Doyle was in for chairman, or for governor. And that was pretty well it. And then the next day, then Governor Evers come and talked, and he wanted to put it into the schools, use it for that. And then now I see that it was going to be used for neither one, and it's going to be going in for a tax refund to the people. So, and it's not going to be that much, because if you start figuring per person, it cuts down to quite a ways on what the total amount would be. I would have sooner seen it maybe give a little to the schools, but then pay back to the transportation fund what they were robbed out of there in the first place. But that was one of the main items that was down there. And then we had a meeting in the evening when the legislators and that was supposed to come, but the only one that was there was Jeff Mursaw that I knew. Our other ones didn't come, so.
Well, that's about the same response we got last year. I think one showed up out of all of them.
Yeah.
If that.
So, there was quite a few other minor things. It wasn't really nothing big earth-shaking or anything like that.
Okay, thanks, Arlen. Brent, do you have any comments?
Yeah, one thing I was sitting by when we had this discussion, but we were listening to the state legislators. We had the minority leaders for the Senate and the House and the majority leaders for the Senate and the House. And we actually have we set history, our legislators set history for the fewest laws passed in the last session of Congress for the state. 69 was it. They averaged 274 a year, and we set a precedent with 69 for the state of Wisconsin, which is next to nothing. But we were just sitting there, and all they did, it was supposed to be a question and answer, and they literally argued for the entire hour and a half with each other, and I could not tell you anything more than when they started. It was embarrassing to sit there and watch our state legislators argue like that.
So to me, it sounds like a complete repeat of last year.
I thought you were going to say last night's debate.
No, I'm sorry, didn't watch it, Tony. Okay, the only other, there you have some items on your desk. The calendar for next month. And there is a brochure from Forward Analytics, they're the statistical company that does a lot of things for the Counties Association. If you feel like browsing through it someday. And there is a memorandum from the Counties Association regarding the nominations for the NACO director. If anyone's interested in that, you can follow everything through on there. With that, we will move on then to number 7, readings and petitions. Pam?
The only thing I wanted to say was that there's 5 or 6 supervisors that I gave them envelopes for the employee appreciation. I'll email the listing of all the honorees, and then for those of you that don't use your iPads, I'll mail you a copy.
That's for the years of service?
Yes, for the years of
This
service.
time around?
As of last year, having 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25, and I believe it was Kraus, Tober, Capelli. I'm not sure who else got one. Hoppy.
Kathy did.
And Geetz, and Lipke.
Okay. And Arlen gets one every year because we don't have rules that go out that far.
I believe he is at the max.
Okay. Then we are up to item number 8, resolution number 320, thanking Greg Trinko for his 29 years of service to the residents of Shawano County.
Now therefore be, I'll start over. Whereas Greg Trinko began his employment as a jail deputy with Shawano County Sheriff's Office on January 1st, 1991, And whereas Greg served as a dispatcher, K-9 handler, patrol deputy, patrol sergeant, and as jail administrator during his tenure with the sheriff's office. And whereas Greg worked consistently and admirably to address the responsibilities of his job. And whereas Greg retired from duty with the Shawano County Sheriff's Office on January 3rd, 2020. And the Public Safety Committee desires to acknowledge and thank Greg for his years of service. Now therefore be it resolved by the Shawano County Board of Supervisors in session this 26th day of February 2020 that the County of Shawano publicly thanks Greg Trinko for his 29 years of service to the residents of Shawano County, submitted by the Public Safety Committee.
Would you gentlemen in the back please like to come forward and have, motion to approve? Motion by Bob Kraus, second by Gene Hoppy. Okay.
I just want to thank Greg and say again, as Pam stated, he started in dispatch, or started in corrections, worked a short time in dispatch, went to patrol. I believe you were the first K-9 officer for Shawano County, so he was our first K-9 handler. From there, he went on to be a patrol sergeant, and he ended his career in the jail as a jail administrator, where he was able to get a lot of new projects done in his short time there, and some of those projects are still continuing. So Greg's been a very good employee for Shawano County and a good friend of mine for 29 years. And so congratulations, Greg.
Thank you. Thank you. I really didn't prepare any words or anything today, but I just wanted to thank the board, the various committees and board members I've worked with over the years, the sheriff, George, and all my coworkers, and especially my wife and my family for putting up with me and not being there and missing things after all these years. It's truly been my pleasure. I think serving the county has been an honor for me, and I just wanted to say thank you again. I never thought when I started out back January 1st in 1991, and I walked in the back door of the old jail, and George took me by the arm and was my training officer starting off then, that we'd be at this point in time, almost 30 years later. But I'd like to think I made it, so. Thank you, George, for all your assistance. It has been a long time, but it seems like yesterday. It flew by, it really did. So I just want to say thank you to everyone, and you'll see me around. I'm not going anywhere. Thank you.
Well, that's good to see because very few people have them years of service anymore. With that, then, everybody ready? Ready, Pam? We have a motion and a second. Those in favor? Vote yes. Voting. 23 yes, 0 no. 1 abstain. Okay, thank you very much, Greg. We will move on then to resolution number 8-20, thanking Sue Krieger for her 45 years of service. Before the meeting, Brent had informed me that I was going to have to be the person to shake her hand because she don't have a department head here to congratulate her, but unfortunately, she decided not to come today. She stopped in by Pam earlier today and dropped off a little portion for her to read, so with that, then we'll have to start with a motion to approve. Motion by Randy Young, seconded by Joe Miller. Pam?
Okay, so this is from Sue then. It says, I first want to apologize for my absence. My intention was to address you personally about my career as your clerk of court. However, my entire family headed for Wisconsin Dells today, and in the past, I missed enough family time, so my priorities are now spending time with them. So that is where I currently am. I have seen numerous changes in how the clerk of court office has developed over my 45-year tenure. In the 90s, implementing CCAP, moving from paper to computerization, handwriting receipts to electronic financial records, and most recently scanning all open court files, which were thousands, to transition into paperless court records. All of these processes took substantial time and effort on myself and staff's part. Every law, policy, or procedural change was a group effort. My staff and I were a family and worked on every project together. The phrase, "It takes more to running the railroad than tooting the whistle," holds true in a county the size of Shawano. If you choose to be a standalone supervisor and not work side by side with staff, you'll never be aware of the daily problems and issues that arise to get them taken care of, which often cause conflict. Treating staff and customers with respect by having an open-door policy to discuss changes to better serve staff and public has always proven beneficial in my department. I served on the Clerk of Court Association executive and legislative committees for many years, developing, processing, and law changes to benefit the association as a group. I was asked to mentor new clerks in the 9th Judicial District based on my experience. I believed having staff cross-trained in all aspects of the department, having a backup system in the event of illness or vacations or work overload was advantageous, both internally and externally. I hated voice messaging and refused to have a machine tell callers to press 1 or 2 for information. 9 people were fully capable of answering the phone calls, and many people were pleasantly surprised to get a live person taking their calls. Every day in the Clerk of Court office was a new experience. No 2 cases were alike. The variety of cases, people, and lack of monotony is why I enjoyed my job for so many years. To this day, I was still learning something new on a regular basis. It was most important to me that I did my best job for Shawano County in a way that the voters that elected me felt they always made the right choice. Thank you, Sue Krieger.
At the beginning, before the meeting, I said to Pam then if we should put it off till next month, and she told Pam, no, don't wait till next month, because then she's gonna be in Florida. So apparently she is enjoying her time off, and after 45 years, she certainly deserves it. So with that, are we ready, Pam?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those in favor then? Vote yes, and those not, would vote no. Rosetta? Still don't have you, Rosetta. Okay. And motion passed, 23 yes, 0 no, and 1 abstain, with 2 absent. So it's the end of a long career. It's too bad we don't see more of that, but in this day and age, it's always in and out to where you see a little greener grass. Moving along, item number 10, ordinance number 120, adopting the Town of Maple Grove's comprehensive plan amendments. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Kathy Lubke, seconded by Steve Geetz. Ken, would you like to comment, or should we defer back to Andy?
I can comment if you would like. Town of Maple Grove updated their comprehensive plan. It's 10 years, been in existence for 10 years now. And the county planning and zoning department worked very closely with them. And this is what the town of Maple Grove would like to see and do in that township. And that includes our next one, our map changes for the town of Maple Grove.
Okay.
So we did hold a public hearing on this and recommend that we support this and move it forward.
Yeah, and if I remember right, Ken, there was only 2 small parcels that they changed
Right.
anything on from what they had in the past, so it's pretty much standard. Is there any questions or comments? If not, then we are ready to vote. "24 yes, 0 no, no abstained, and 2 absent." So the resolution is passed. ordinance. Then we will move on to number 11, resolution number 9-20 to approve amendments to the Town of Maple Grove's official zoning map, which basically just reflects what we did in number 10. Does anybody have really any questions? Kathy, would you like to? Motion. I'll get it figured out. Motion approved by Kathy, seconded by Ken Capelli. Okay, now is there any comments or questions? It's basically just showing the map and approving the map the same as to match what's in their plan. No questions or comments? Then we will move right on to a vote. Bob? 24 yes, 0 no. Resolution has passed. Moving on, item number 12. Resolution number 10-20 approving additional funding for the replacement of water boilers at the Shawano County Jail. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Bill Swatala, seconded by Steve Burrows. Kevin, would you like to comment on this? It was an item that went through KIP. Okay.
I'll let her read that first, and then I'll make a comment.
Now therefore be it resolved by the Shawano County Board of Supervisors in session this 26th day of February 2020 that the Shawano County Board of Supervisors approves increasing the funding allocated to the Shawano County Jail water boiler replacement project from $135,650 up to an amount not to exceed $200,000, with the additional funds to be taken from the KIP ATC funds, submitted by the Finance Committee and the KIP Committee.
All right. I guess there's a couple factors for the increase in this. The original estimate, I think, was brought forward around in 2015, so it was like 5 years ago before this finally came through the process. Also, the tariffs are taking a hit on this project, or the project's taking a hit because of the tariffs, and also because of the bidding environment right now. Everybody's busy. And Steve is here, I believe, too, if somebody has some more detailed questions, but that's the long and the short of it.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Any other questions or comments? Marvin Klosterman.
I was just surprised a little bit that there was any money left in the ATC funds. I thought that had all been allocated already. How much money is left in that fund yet?
I know from my time on KIP that there's purposely money left always. We don't spend it all, but do you have any idea off the top of your head? About $500,000 left in ATC? Okay. All right. Anything else, Marvin?
No, that's it.
Okay. That answers your question, Bob. All right. No other questions or comments? Okay, then we are up to a vote, Pam. Twenty-three yes, 0 no, 1 abstain. So resolution number 1020 has been approved. Moving on, item number 13, resolution number 11-20. Pam, I'll get the order right now here this time.
Resolution to adopt the policy to prohibit the use of excessive force and the barring of entrances, exits for nonviolent civil rights demonstrations. Now therefore be it resolved by the Shawano County Board of Supervisors in session this 26th day of February 2020 that it is policy of Shawano County to prohibit the use of excessive force by law enforcement agencies within the county's jurisdiction against any individuals engaged in nonviolent civil rights demonstrations. Be it further resolved that it is policy of Shawano County to enforce applicable state and local laws against physically barring entrance to or exit from a facility or location which is the subject of such nonviolent civil rights demonstration within the county's jurisdiction. Be it further resolved that the officials and employees of Shawano County shall assist in the orderly prevention of all excessive force within Shawano County by implementing the authority and enforcement procedures set forth in Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974. Be it further resolved that the Shawano County Board of Supervisors asks Shawano County law enforcement to take any action necessary to comply with the contents of this resolution, submitted by the Public Safety Committee.
Motion to approve would be in order. Motion by Mr. Miller, Dan Miller. Got to make sure I get Miller straight. Seconded by Steve Burrows. Do you have any comments on it, Richard, or should I pass it back to George?
I think Tony can probably explain this one. This is the resolution that we had to have in order for the county to apply for grants. Tony can probably fill you in more on that.
This is the resolution we need to have to apply for the grants.
You guys are a lot of help.
Really, that's what it is. I mean, it's kind of a pro forma thing that they need to have on their books that we passed in order to be eligible for the funding, so that
Like
really
many
is the
other
long and
ones
short
that-
of it. Yeah.
Many other ones that we have to do. I could have been really nice. I was going to pick on Tess, and she's shaking her head no, because she's relatively new, so we'll wait. We'll leave that alone. Okay, are there any questions? Joe?
Let me see the first, be it further resolved.
Please speak into your mic.
Thank you, Pam. On the first, be it further resolved, is this public or both public and private facilities?
Yeah, any facility would still be subject to the civil rights laws, so it would apply to any facility.
But just question, on a private facility, don't they have the right to bar entrance into their facility for pretty much any reason?
First, not if they want any sort of government funding for this. We have the right to loan to towns, villages, nonprofits, private entities, so if they want to have any of that funding, then it comes along with the ability to have these restrictions imposed.
Thank you.
Is that it, Joe? Anyone else? Any questions, comments? Seeing none, whenever you're ready, Pam. Richard? There we go. 23 yes, 0 no, and 1 abstain. Resolution number 11-20 is adopted. Item number 14, resolution number 12-20 to support passage of State of Wisconsin Assembly Bill 568.
Now therefore be it resolved by the Shawano County Board of Supervisors in session this 26th day of February 2020 that it hereby supports passage and enforcement of State of Wisconsin Assembly Bill 568, which removes the limitations on the help that can be provided by a structural response team, removes reimbursement limitations for such teams, and allows for greater reimbursement of disability premiums, all as more fully set forth above, submitted by the Public Safety Committee.
Motion to approve. Motion by Bob Kraus. Is there a second? Kevin Conrad. Is there any questions or comments? I'll call on Tony because nobody here seems to be really too sure of what it's all about.
Yeah, this one is a situation where lots of counties and municipalities within the counties, they can become part of one of the emergency management teams that are called upon to respond to these more significant events, whether it be structural collapses or flood, large-scale fires, other larger-scale problems. It used to be that then when those entities on the local level would seek reimbursement, they were confined by For example, the money that they would get in return from somebody who caused the problem. Say if somebody caused a large-scale fire, local municipalities could only get back the reimbursement that came from what we call the tortfeasor, or the person who called the liability. What this does is removes those types of restrictions and allows basically the federal government to reimburse local entities on a much higher level without waiting around for that third-party reimbursement from who caused the problem. So I think it's a good idea. It certainly means that there's a greater opportunity for local folks to get a little bit more of the money that's available.
Okay. Bob?
And just to get this more onto our level, we have a lot of structural collapses from snow loads, especially in our farm buildings. So I was kind of surprised that we had this little dance we had to do to get reimbursement to our local fire departments, et cetera, and this bill would remedy some of that. So it does relate to us. It's not just the big terrorist thing or fire or whatever. We have snow load collapses almost every year. Fortunately, there has not been many entrapments, but who knows what happens next. They just keep
Right.
building buildings bigger and bigger. So it does relate to us locally.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, we're ready to vote, Pam. Twenty-three yes, 0 no, 1 abstained. Resolution number 12-20 is passed. Item number 15. Annual reports, you see inside of your packet, there is the report from the Department of Administration. If there's any questions or comments, you can contact Brent. If not, we'll just place it on file as usual. And move on to item number 16, report by Finance Committee on general accounts and claims.
General accounts paid January 1st, 2020 through January 31st, 2020 in the amount of $1,100,285.40.
Motion to approve general accounts. Motion by Ray Feeling, seconded by Gene Hoppy. Any questions or comments? Okay, whenever you're ready to. Marvin, still waiting for you. 23 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain. Okay. General accounts is passed, and we need to do payroll separate, correct? No, that's all considered in one. All right. Then we are up to item number 17, acceptance of committee minutes. Motion to approve. Motion by Kathy Lubke, seconded by Richard Perfecki. Is there any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, then we can do this by voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 18, there are 2 appointments to be made. These, I believe, we should do one at a time. We always have in the past. To the Solid Waste Management Board to appoint Ed Wheeling as the city rep replacing Lorna Marquardt to fill the remainder of the term which expires in March 2021. I'm assuming Mrs. Marquardt must have resigned. Randy?
No, I'm making a motion.
Oh, okay. Motion to approve, Randy, second. Marvin Klosterman. Is there any comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, then if you are in favor of the change, you would vote yes? Oh, voice vote, okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And we have one more for the City County Airport Commission to appoint Mike Bladorn? Bladorn, okay. I believe he's replacing John Seidel.
No, these are the 2 additional, Mike
Oh,
is the
okay.
additional one for the county rep. that we passed back in December.
Okay. So you were appointing Mike and John Seidel. Mike Bladorn and John
No,
Seidel?
I think he put John down there if John had any comments that he, he's
Oh,
here. He's
okay.
sitting in the back, that's all it is.
Okay. You have anything you'd like to add, John? Oh, okay. I wasn't understanding. Jerry gave me a agenda with some notes on it, and all he's got down is right after Mike Bladorn, and that equals John Seidel, and that equals airport. So I got a little lost in the translation, I guess. Motion to approve? Motion by Gene Hoppy, seconded by Ken Capelli. We can also do this by voice vote. All in questions, comments? Kathy?
So this is, a couple months ago, we expanded the committee and by 2 more, so that's the county's rep, so now the city will come with one later?
Right, the
Is that
city,
correct?
they were going to, at their council meeting, appoint Bruce Milovitz as their rep.
Okay, so then it'll be brought whole, then, the committee.
Then what?
Then the committee will be brought whole.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, and we can do this by voice vote. Motion to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Item number 19, board member comments on new business to be considered at a future meeting. Anyone have anything they'd like to bring up? You guys are being pretty easy today. Oh, we got lots of them here, though. Okay. All right, Peter.
Wisconsin's County Association emailed us last night in regards to a calling error from the Wisconsin Department of Revenue, which they incorrectly calculated the amount of personal property. And so Shawano County is going to be losing potentially about $7,500 because of their accounting error. And there's currently a bill down in Madison in the Senate that if it's approved, it would reimburse the difference. So this might be a potential that we might plan for if it doesn't pass. So.
Okay. Do you want to comment on it at all, Brent or Anita? No?
No, we got the same email.
Okay.
All it is the email is asking for people to contact the senators to have it sent, the bill to, Peter, does it have the bill number on there? SB?
SB 753.
SB 753, and it's just wanting us to contact our state senators on this so that they'll pass it and move it forward to Governor Eber's office.
And this would stop what they termed, if I remember right, reading it as clawing back
Clawing back, yes.
what they previously gave out in error.
That is correct.
Okay. All right.
Or what they collected in error. What they told us
Oh,
to collect.
Okay. All right. Bob?
Just from the Public Safety Committee, we'll have a meeting on March 3rd to talk about a proposed resolution for the Second Amendment, which is, kind of relates to the next item on the agenda about moving the date. That meeting has to happen first, and the committee has to send it forward to county board. I see no reason why we wouldn't. I do know that we have several resolutions that have presented to the committee ahead of time. We have a resolution that I worked on with Tony and the sheriff and a community member, and that resolutions may have some questions. I hope and intend to have it come to the next board meeting, but it has to get through that meeting first.
Okay.
Just so we're all on the same page and people don't jump the gun and our hope is to have it there, but I also understand that everybody has their own version of what this should look like. So I'm looking forward to next week, Tuesday, at our meeting down in the basement to find out, what people really want. I mean, we got some of that a month ago. I'm assuming we're going to get more of that when they see the proposed resolution. But that's how the process works. We all know how that works. I just hope the public understands that too.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Bob. Steve Geets.
Yeah, I'd just like to invite all you guys, members of the board to our Wisconsin Towns Association meeting tomorrow evening at Town of Herman Town Hall on Highway U south of 29. It starts at 7:30. And our candidate for circuit judge will be there giving you his spiel, so, so if you want to, this is the Tony campaign, come down to the meeting, so, thank you.
Okay. Randy Young.
So back to what Bob was saying. So if I wanted to educate myself on this, will the resolution give me enough information to allow me to vote confidently, or is there somewhere else I can go to look to kind of be brought up to speed?
If I may?
Yes, go ahead, Tony.
Thank you. You know, there's a lot of information out there about this, Randy. It started in a couple of states. I think Virginia was the first state that talked about passing restrictive gun legislation. The last time I checked a few days ago, that has failed pretty miserably. But it caused a number of states, a number of counties in particular, to want to take action to let everybody know that, hey, we're not going to tolerate laws that we think inappropriately infringe upon our Second Amendment rights. I kind of went through the iterations. Florence County was the first county in Wisconsin to pass a resolution that's like what you will see if you read about this or read the resolution that Bob had talked about that has been shared with the Public Safety Committee. So that's really kind of the genesis of it. You can Google it. You know, it's one of those issues that's been talked about a lot. So you can find a variety of sources and a variety of opinions and a variety of resolutions that have been passed by different counties and the different states that have undertaken it. So you know, it lends itself well to kind of a general search. Some issues I would tell you, no, I'll give you this handout or I'll send you this particular link, but this has been pretty widely discussed. So if you do a general search, you can read up more on it, but the thrust of it is simply, it's an idea that this county doesn't want to tolerate outside forces telling us that we have to be more restrictive than the Second Amendment when it comes to the possession of guns.
Okay, and I'm sure that I'd get more information at the meeting.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think at the last Public Safety Committee meeting, Bob, there was, 30, 40, 50 people there. So maybe the best way to learn about it is if you can attend
Yeah.
that meeting.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, my hope is that we can present a resolution that doesn't get amended on county board floor, because that'll be quite problematic. So we're hoping to put it together so it's understandable and covers the bases that the people were talking about. We were given a pretty good idea what they were looking for at that last meeting, and I think the four of us put together a resolution that talked about what they wanted. But I've gotten some feedback since then also, and so we'll talk about it at the meeting, at the public safety meeting, and try to address any of the concerns that I've heard from other people. And maybe we'll have some more people that show up at that meeting that have concerns. I would really like, though, to bring a resolution forward that this county board could feel confident that we did our due diligence and this is something we should act on, as opposed to having this large debate and trying to pick apart what we've actually been working hard on already. So please be patient with us, and hopefully what we bring you will be something you can support. Thank you.
Okay. Richard? Okay.
Well, we all took an oath for, when we signed up to be supervisors for the Shawano County Board to defend the Constitution of the United States. And we're going to try and come up with a resolution that's going to be in consensus of the whole county. And I imagine there will be a lot of discussion. Like Bob has said, everybody has their own feeling how the Second Amendment should apply to everyone. And the best way is to not get hype over this and try and all work together and come up with a good solution to all this. And like Bob has said, anybody's welcome to our next meeting. It's going to be on the 4th. It's going to be in room A and B. And we'll go from there, and we'll try and get a resolution to the county board as best we can.
I believe the meeting's on the 3rd, is that correct?
No, wait, okay, I'm sorry. It is the 3rd because they moved it. It was on the 4th originally.
It's at 9 o'clock. The reason it was moved from the 4th, your normal meeting day, to the 3rd is because They had wanted it to be held in the basement meeting rooms A and B, and that is on Wednesday, planning, and they have public hearings and stuff, so that wasn't available, so that's why it was moved the day before.
All right, Gene Hoppy.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, since this is a very touchy matter and it's been talked about in the Democratic caucus and everything, we better prepare for a place big enough to hold a big crowd.
That's why they moved it to downstairs, because when you have all those meeting rooms, they can generally have chairs for up to 100 people.
Well, and that's good, and I appreciate that, but I don't think that's going to be big enough.
I guess, yeah, I would. There is no other venue that the county has that would be that big. I don't believe the capacity up at, what's the capacity, do you remember, Brent, up at Health and Human Services in a new building? So that wouldn't be any bigger than downstairs. I don't think the grandstands will work. Might be a little cold out. I guess just have to kind of wait and see what comes. Is that it, Gene?
Yes.
Okay. Mike McClellan?
Can you tell me what time the public safety meeting is going to be in A and B?
9 o'clock.
And you're asking the county board to meet at 6? Why don't you guys meet at 6 for your meeting?
The public safety meeting is on March 3rd.
At 9 o'clock?
At 9
Yes.
o'clock in the morning.
County board meeting isn't until like the 26th. It's all, both of those dates are indicated on your calendar that was on your
Well, I
desk.
understand that. I was just curious why, if they want us to change county board meeting time, that they don't change the time of the county public safety meeting till 6 o'clock at night, so
Well,
more people
that's-
can attend.
That's up to the committee to decide that, and they already decided and picked their date and time. The board meeting will address that when we get to item number 21. Teresa?
The public safety meeting agenda is already posted. If you want to take a look at the resolution that has been drafted by Bob, community members, Tony, I think you'll get a good feeling that all the concerns that we had during our public safety meeting with all the attendees from the public that spoke, all of their considerations and ours were taken into context and written. It's very well written. Good job, Tony. That's what you get the big bucks for. So, just take a look at it, and hopefully it'll answer your questions and not give you more. But I think it was well written, and good job to all that were involved. Thanks.
Okay. Joel Miller.
Well, I echoed some comments at the end of the last meeting, and I guess I'll echo them again. I can't? You can't. Oh, okay. Teresa says I should be quiet, so maybe I should. I disagree with any reference to any political party at this. But just a couple seconds ago, a reference was made, and this is my point. This is, none of us had to show a political affiliation to sit in these seats. This is a nonpartisan board, and that's my objection to this. So, with that, thank you.
Okay, Joe, back to Teresa.
I listened to you, friend, and I made a request to not have any political party indicated in the reference for the resolution. It is the oath of us as supervisors to uphold the amendments and the Constitution, and it's not a political reference. It should never be. It's for all people. And I listened to you, Joe, and I made that request. So please take a look, and hopefully that'll answer your questions. Thank you.
Joel?
Well, swearing an oath of office in the Constitution. The Constitution itself is subject to interpretation. You never see the Supreme Court of the United States with unanimous decisions when it comes to it. So if I'm a dissenter, I'm a dissenter.
It's your choice.
That's my choice. Whether or not I'm
Yep.
upholding the Constitution or not is my choice. Thank you.
Let's take one more comment from Arlen, and then we'll move on.
Are we discussing right now the changing of the time, or is that going to come up in the?
No, that's coming up next, Arlen.
Okay, I'll wait then.
Well, not quite next. Okay, let's move on. We got, all next month we can work on that. Item number 20, claim report, County Board Supervisors mileage and per diem.
For today's meeting with 24 members present, total amount paid out is $2,226.10.
Okay. Motion to approve. Motion by Ray Failing, seconded by Randy Young. Any questions, comments? If not, we are ready to vote, Pam? Marvin. Mike, still waiting for you. There we go. 23 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain, so we do get paid then for today. Okay. Now, next month. Jerry has notes here that he had 6 people called looking for us to change the time for the March meeting. And he thought it should go on the agenda because we are the board and we can decide when we want to meet. And if we think it's this big that we would want to move it by a majority of us, we could move it. And if there's anybody on the board who would like to comment, otherwise he's also got on here that it's set up to vote. We can just vote on it, and if it is to move it till 6, we move it to 6. If we don't vote to move it to 6, stays at 3. Anybody wishing to comment? Arlen?
Yes, I think this time that we actually have our regular meetings is about the worst time of the day we can have it, because at 3 o'clock, people working in the daytime can't come, and most meetings, quite a few of them run, till towards 5, after 5. And then those working in the evening can't come. And I think as long as this is right now it's quite a topic, and there's a lot of people going to be coming, I think we should switch it to accommodate them. And I would move that we should change it to 6 o'clock in the evening. Because we always talked before, well, nobody comes to the back. Well, they really can't. If it's at one or the other, if it's in the middle, it overlaps. But this way we could have everything in the evening and be done with it then.
Okay. Richard for Fecky.
Well, there's 2 ways of looking at it. The county board meetings were set at 3 o'clock.
Okay,
And
I guess Arlen did say he would make a motion to have it at 6. Okay, we are going to vote anyway on it. Would you like to let the other members comment if they wish, Arlen, or no? Okay, oh, that's the second. Okay, all right, Bob. I'm sleeping again, not following protocol. Okay, now we can continue discussion.
I did not second.
You didn't? Gene did. Okay. All righty. Kathy Lupke. The board kicked Richard off already. We'll go back to Richard then.
I guess originally we had, our board meetings are set for 3 o'clock. And if everybody remember, I'd like to compliment the colonel for her years of service and her idea of having it at 6 o'clock. But the last public safety meeting, when I saw the sign on room 7, and I walked in the door at about 10 to 9, we had 55 people there. So I don't know what changing it till 6 o'clock is going to help. If people are really in favor of this resolution or against it, they will attend the meeting at 3 o'clock. And this time of the year, you have a lot of Lenten services, so maybe you're not even going to get that big of a crowd. And I believe there's going to be a lot of supervisors that will leave before the meeting is over. So I guess that's my compliment.
Okay. Then we will go back. Now Kathy, it's your turn, even though the
Okay,
board.
thank you. Yeah,
Something to do with the operator, too.
You know, it took us, that's fine. We debated many years on the time of the meetings, and we finally settled at 3 o'clock. It took many years, if you all remember that. This is one item. What's the next one that's going to be asked to change? A lot of things that need to be decided are done in committee. The committee meetings, if people, like Richie said, were able to make 9 o'clock, 50, 60 people, if this is important to them, they will make the time. I just hate to start changing for every, I think we need to be consistent. So I'm against changing it. Thank you.
Okay. Joel?
Without sounding like a broken record, years and years, well, maybe it is time to consider it. If we're going to do it for this, I'll be here, whatever the board votes for this next meeting, I'll be here. No, don't worry about that. But future meetings, so the community and the county residents can attend. Why is this a debate? I mean, if everybody says, if they want attendance, if they want people in the community that express a wish to run for these seats, many of us are running unopposed probably for that very reason why they can't make it here. So if we're going to talk about changing meeting dates, let's have maybe after the elections and everything's all reset, maybe we should have that discussion again. Thank you.
Okay. We usually have that, Joel, in December, along with the rules. If there's going to be, and it was mentioned this last year, that about the meeting dates, and nobody brought anything up to change them, or the times, I should say, so. Bob?
It's kind of funny that we're going to talk about the Second Amendment right, but take away my First Amendment right to go to church that night. So it's interesting that we don't look at it that way, but I could come at 6 o'clock, but I will not give up my church service, which starts at 7. So I'll be here for a half an hour, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you want to change the day, I could live with changing the day. So I don't really care what time you have it, but I've been on this board long enough that we've had meetings at night where no one attends. We've had meetings at daytime where no one attends. We've given people the opportunity. We've changed the time of the meetings enough. Matter of fact, 3 o'clock is probably is very inconvenient for me, but I'm not running again, so I wasn't going to pound my fist over it last December. Joe is right. We've tried, though. We've tried to accommodate the public as much as we can. Now, in the past, we had people come forward and pack our boardroom when we talked about dog parks, when we talked about bike trails. We had these conversation discussions, and people came. And quite frankly, if we're going to have 100 people and they're all going to speak, you know what I'm saying? These meetings are recorded. If you want to have input, you've had time to have input, you can have input. We held the meeting at 9 o'clock because we had just as many people here at 9 o'clock that morning. I think Richie said it well. But I can't see moving it for one special interest group or one item or one subject. I'm okay with moving it to 6 o'clock, but certainly not that Wednesday night, because I will only be here a half an hour. I will not give up my faith to serve in this position.
Okay. Kind of to go along with Bob's comment, if there's going to be a lot of people here wishing to speak and address the board at public comment, I'll go back to the comment that I made when it was suggested to 3 o'clock for all meetings instead of the 6 o'clock. When we had our 6 o'clock meeting at night and we were going through the personnel handbook, the individual that was on the board that used to sit in, I believe it was Ray Failing's seat, it got so late at night, he wasn't even paying attention anymore, so much that his eyes were closed, and I think he was getting ready to snore. If we start at 6 o'clock and you're going to have 20, 25 people up here, and Jerry will be back then, if he only gives them 2 or 3 minutes, you're up to over an hour of just comments. So think about how late you might be sitting here too. So if there, oh, we got one more. Gene?
Well, Mr. Chairman, thank you. But I think we're elected by the people. We're representing the people, those that want it, those that don't want it. And we should give them the right to talk. And I think what Alan's idea was, they're going to get a better chance to talk, and that's why we should do it.
Okay. All right, I see no other ones then. I guess we might just as well get down to a vote. And that'll answer our question, one way or the other. If you are in favor of changing it to 6 o'clock, vote yes. If you want it to stay at 3, you would vote no. Okay, 5 yes, 18 no. So I guess it stays at 3 o'clock then next month, folks. With that, we will move on. The only item we have left is adjournment. It's a motion to adjourn. Motion by Ray Failing, seconded by Teresa Serrano. I don't think we've got to vote on that, do we? We don't even have to vote on that, do we? Adjourning. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Oh, you got a motion and a second, you have to